Trafford, the setting for a different approach by Arsenal. They've been working in secret all week on a change of tactics. Today the focus really is on George Graham's team. John Lukic is in goal, of course, Lee Dixon at right back, but with even more freedom to play to his attacking strengths, and the same applies to Nigel Winterburn at left back. At 4, Paul Davis, as usual, in midfield. David O'Leary is a key man in the new plan. O'Leary will play as a sweeper behind 2 central defensive markers, one of whom is Tony Adams, the captain. At 7, David Rocastle. You may well see him operating further forward than his normal role in midfield, and it's in midfield where Kevin Richardson does so much of the hard graft. Alan Smith at the sharp end of Arsenal's attack, and then at number 10 in comes Steve Bold, who'll be the other defensive marker with Adams. Brian Marwood along with Smith and Rocastle, the Arsenal strike force. But facing Arsenal, Norman Whiteside, one of the game's sternest competitors, back after a complete year out with Achilles trouble. United have Jim Leighton in goal, Viv Anderson starting a league game for only the 3rd time this season. The versatile Mal Donaghy is currently at left back. At 4, Steve Bruce, and then Paul McGrath partnering Bruce in the centre of defence. Whiteside wearing number 6. At 7, Brian Robson pass fit after worrying knock in training on Friday. Then Russell Beardsmore being given a run in the role now vacated by Gordon Strachan. Up front, the tried and trusted combination of Brian McClare and Mark Hughes. And finally, a first full league game for 19-year-old Giuliano Majorana. He's English-born, of Italian parentage. He's a left-sided player of exciting potential. So Arsenal leading on the final bend of this absorbing race. But now they're feeling Liverpool at their shoulders. Who'll be strongest in the home straight? With Norwich, of course, still figuring in that sprint for the line. Winterburn. Richardson, and that's given away. Ian, you say about tightening things up at the back, and I'm sure that's in Arsenal's mind, but also they're playing with 3 forwards, which suggests that they've come here to have a real go at Manchester United's back 4 as well.
Well, they have to win the game. I mean, they've come with a positive approach, and they have to win it. And they'll look for the fullbacks also, you know, getting up there.
But here's McClare for Manchester United. Winterburn chasing. That's certainly a day in Manchester for the Umbrellas. Jim Leighton played an April Fool's joke on his manager Alex Ferguson yesterday. He put a plaster cast on his arm and said he was out of this game, and Alex Ferguson bought it hook, line and sinker. Smith couldn't reach it. Davis. Marwood is in there and went down. The defender was Donaghy, but it was a genuine challenge for the ball, and Manchester United looking to break. Archie Knox.
I think Archie's rather upset about something.
Arsenal get the free kick, earned by Marwood, in a situation of real possibility for them. Leighton's now gone across to take up his position. There's a clip by Marwood. Leighton had it worked out, but it needed all his agility. The side of the goal that the wall covers, but Marwood bypassed that, but didn't get past the dive of Leighton. The first corner of the match, it's Arsenal's. And Bold trying to flick it on, beaten by Anderson, back by Marwood again. Smith, attempted volley. There was just a smell of a chance there, Ian, as the ball dropped.
Yes, it was, and as we've seen all season, Arsenal are so dangerous from the set pieces, and you know, if they can keep the pressure on, win a few corner kicks, then you'd expect them to get a goal.
It's the third time the two clubs have met this season. Previously in the league at Highbury in the Centenary Trophy final at Villa Park, Arsenal came out on top both times 2-1. Both times started the game much better than Manchester United. Marwood, he slip away from Anderson, he's done that, and the chance was Marwood's. Leighton made up the ground very quickly to block the shot. And there was some tugging by Anderson on Marwood, but the referee allowed him to go on, in fact played the advantage in Marwood's favour, but he couldn't take the chance. McClair. Right side. Here's Donaghy. Marwana is outside him, and onside. And it was a useful ball across the face of the goal. Arsenal looked belatedly and angrily at the linesman, but Majorana held his position. Just wonder whether there was someone offside in the centre. I think it was desperately close.
Mark Hughes it was who was the advanced player, but the linesman kept his flag down, I think quite rightly there.
Bruce, and looking at the offside, let's not forget to pay tribute to Majorana. It was an excellent cross, really whipped in, head high at pace, and that will have improved his confidence. McClair. Beardsmore, it's a splendid pass for Robson. Hughes.
He's played a couple of lovely little enticing balls into the box here. He's a lovely little footballer, Beardsmore, and he can see things and he can play it. Look at that, that was a beautiful pass. But again, good skill there by Brian Robson. Almost set up the chance here for Mark Hughes.
I'm sure Liverpool fans will be pleased that Arsenal aren't winning here, but they'd love Manchester United to score. Bruce trying to supply just that. Hughes! One of those spinning, spectacular turns. Steve Bruce was an important presence for Manchester United in this break, and it was an ambitious effort, but nothing wrong with trying it.
He certainly can score the spectacular goals, can't he, Mark Hughes? We've seen so many this year.
Well, it's half-time at Old Trafford, and it's goalless between Manchester United and Arsenal. The personnel are the same for the second half. Whether the plans will change, Ian, I just wonder.
Well, I hope they come out with the idea of getting a few bodies, as Mick Shannon would say, get the bodies in the box. I do feel that Arsenal, who had the initiative early on, the first 20 minutes or so, then became very negative, started knocking the ball around at the back and back to the goalkeeper, and sort of gave United, you know, the opening then to come back into the game.
Now McClair. Beardsmore holding to the right, Hughes through the centre is offside, and it won't count. No complaints from Mark Hughes. It's all about the timing of the run and the timing of the pass. It always is very tight. with those situations, in your view?
I think possibly, as we keep saying this to our viewers, that if you're level, you're offside. And he was at least level, maybe just a shade on.
Time for McGrath. Adams. Just hacked on by Marwood. Intercepted by Robson. Mix-up between Rocastle and Richardson. And Robson's shot was curving all the time. Lukic had his angles right.
Well, the skipper's driving him on now, isn't he? He's having a big influence in the second half by Robson.
They've been a little bit disappointed with his form here since he had that nasty head injury in the cup tie against Queen's Park Rangers. Arsenal have Merson and Thomas up and running. Hughes. Play on, says Terry Holbrook, because Brian Robson seized on the loose ball after Hughes was fouled. And Lukic gets there just ahead of Beardsmore. It's opening up ahead of Brian Robson in the second half. But here's Winterburn. That's a fine ball. Rocastle. Smith in the centre, Marwood as well, but Rocastle can go his own way, as he showed at Southampton last week, and very nearly illuminated this match here with another show of individual skill. It was enough to get George Graham onto his feet.
That was almost identical to the goal he scored at Southampton, coming inside on his left foot, tricks the defender, just didn't quite get the angle on it.
Dixon. Here's Bold, and those two number 10s have really had quite a ding-dong battle this season, Hughes and Bold, this afternoon. It's a free kick to Arsenal, awarded against Mark Hughes. Adams and Bold joining Smith by the far post. Leighton's come a long way and made a good catch, good judgment. Winterburn and McClare. Terry Holbrook went across very quickly. After Leighton had caught the ball, he used it quickly to McClare, who typically thought quickly, and then Winterburn caught him, and it was what happened after that that the referee will have to adjudicate on as to whether McClare actually followed through in a dangerous way on Winterburn. This might tell us a little bit more. To, I think, verbally challenge Winterburn. What I was going to say, Ian, is that incidents can be taken out of context, and this hasn't been a malicious match by any means.
No, it hasn't. You know, and the conditions have been bad because players are sliding into each other, but it's been played in a very good spirit.
Winterburn is back on. Bruce. McClare and Hughes, but it's irrelevant because Terry Holbrook had penalised McClare.
Brian McClare's been getting into a free position on the right-hand side of the field, and Arsenal have had Tony Adams pushing forward to try and mark him, and I feel that McClare's been getting the better of the exchanges of late, and maybe worthwhile Manchester United trying to get more of the ball to McClare.
Rocastle. Trying to run the ball to some sort of safety, and in the end having to bring down Rocastle. England colleagues. section of the crowd recalling the day when Rocastle was sent off here a couple of years ago. Marwood whips it in, and it came off the back of the head of Norman Whiteside. Marwood with the corner. Arsenal have done it, they've got the goal. Adams. And it came from a set play. Minutes left. Leighton reflects on the goal that's gone past him, and the First Division leaders have a priceless moment to savor here with the diving header from Tony Adams.
Well, we did say in the first half, you know, how dangerous they were at corner kicks, and they've proved it again, Arsenal. It's tremendous how they do it.
It looks as though they might be going home disappointed until they realise the camera's on them and they're being seen around the country. Donaghy. Well read by Adams. Here's Dixon. Rocastle. Well, that's superb work in the circumstances. Smith. Slipping it to Marwood. Arsenal finishing this match with strength and belief, but with no end product that time. This is McLeod. It's a Manchester United free kick. Anderson. And again. It's an awkward one for Adams! Oh, and Lukic couldn't keep it out! Tony Adams has scored at both ends. It's 1-1. Another twist to the drama in the championship race. Arsenal had victory in their sights. Driven in by Blackmore as a crucial deflection there, and then by Adams, and Lukic could only palm it on its way. 5 minutes left, 1-1. Adams did well to get there first as Blackmore arrived a little late on the scene. Smith. Thomas. This is Alan Smith for Arsenal. Dixon outside him. And Lee Martin defending well, and the anger from Leighton at Rocastle sliding in. There isn't a great deal of love lost between these two clubs. It's been kept under wraps for much of this game, but in the emotion of what's happened over the last 10 minutes or so, it's coming to the surface now.
Certainly Rocastle was a little bit late, but I really don't understand the goalkeepers. You know, they're not hurt, and they get up and they start a confrontation, and other players get involved, and before you know it, gets all very ugly and untidy.
Anderson had to be clean in his work there, and the last thing Manchester United needed was a free kick conceded in that position. Adams. Thomas. Adams again for Smith. It's no more than half a chance, and it was a rather weary flail of the leg by Alan Smith, looking to get it across towards the far post. He's never going to get past Leighton. And it's understandable that the players are weary. It really hasn't been a winter to get you accustomed to a mud bath like this. Stamina sapping. Rocastle, will it drop for him? Oh! That was so close. It sat up invitingly for the volley too.
Almost another spectacular late winner. Oof. Just a shade past the post. But it's been such an exciting second half, hasn't it? It really has bubbled up, and we've had everything in the second half.
Into the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Terry Holbrook has had several looks at his watch. Dixon. Nicely played by Manchester United. Donaghy to Hughes. Anderson having to check. Merson and Thomas. That's handball, but it's a 1-1 draw in which Tony Adams has been a central figure, scoring for both sides. George Graham's Arsenal came here with a new tactical plan, and they leave with a point. The ramifications of that probably we'll only know at the end of the season, but certainly plenty to talk about.
Well, Tony, thanks for coming down. Contrasting game for you. A quick comment on the game overall, first of all.
I think we done very well. We're quite pleased with the way it went. Obviously, we'd like to have won it, but we're pleased with the point. So there we go.
But ideally, really, you needed all three here, didn't you?
Of course we did. We need to win every game. Yeah, it's just one of those things. We've done so well getting in front, and I want to messed it up again. So, but never mind. We're okay at the moment. We've got another point out of this one, so it's better than nothing, I suppose.
All set up for the big one at Anfield, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be a very good game. They look like they're right on form there, and they've won what 9 6 wins or whatever. So we're looking forward to it. We've got 7 left now, so everyone's we need to win. So we're looking forward to it.